Yesterday, it was revealed that the federal authorities, who are, of course, prosecuting Donald Trump for the theft and obstruction related to the documents scandal, they revealed that they've got tapes. And no, not just that one tape of Donald Trump bragging about that classified document about attacking Iran. Nope. They said they have tapes, plural. And they emphasized the plural part of that, hey, there's more than what you know. Now, unfortunately, we have not been told what's on these tapes, who's on these tapes, what these tapes say, so we know nothing about the contents of any of them, except one. We may not know what was said, but we do know who Donald Trump was speaking to, because one of those tapes was an interview conducted by his former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, for his memoir that was released last summer. Meadows had traveled to Bedminster and talked to Trump for hours, all of it on tape, and that tape ended up in the hands of federal authorities, and it is now evidence against Donald Trump. We know how Donald Trump operates. We know he likes to boast and brag about things. That's why there is that tape of him bragging about the Iran document. But could it be that during his interview with his former chief of staff, where he felt safe and secure, maybe even off the record, started bragging about all of the boxes and documents that he took from the White House? That seems like a very real probability at this point. But they also said, by the way, there's even more than that. Now, some of the tapes that they have are innocuous enough. They're tapes that you would expect them to have because it's the tapes of the depositions of the people who spoke to the grand jury. And those tapes will, of course, be used against Donald Trump in trial, and those individuals whose tapes they use will also be called. What typically happens in a situation like that, the prosecutors will play a part of the deposition tape while that particular witness is also on the stand. They'll hear them on the tape. They'll ask them to elaborate in court. So that's what that is. That's not that big of a deal because that is standard operating procedure for trials. But it's the other tapes, right? The ones that may show Donald Trump bragging more about the documents, possibly to Mark Meadows, possibly to other people. We don't know. All we know is that tapes exist, and each and every one of them is now evidence against Donald Trump. So if they're being used as evidence, there has to be something on them that implicates Donald Trump in criminal activity. This is not speculation. That's why you enter it into evidence in the first place. If it was irrelevant, they wouldn't want it. They wouldn't introduce it. They wouldn't have kept it. But obviously, due to the fact that these tapes are being used as evidence, which we know because Donald Trump now has access to them under the supervision of his lawyers, we know there's something on there, and we know it's not good for Donald Trump. Thanks for watching, everyone, and well, here comes the awkward part at the end of the video where I ask you to like, comment, and share, and subscribe for more content from Ring of Fire. Also, you should consider becoming a member for some exclusive content and perks, including early access videos and exclusive videos. Check out the link in the description.